Hola estudiantes. En estructura 1.3, we will discuss the present tense of ser. However, first I'm going to start with a tutorial on subject pronouns. So just for a second, I want you to think, what are subject pronouns in English? So you have I, you, he, she, we, and they. In order to use verbs, you have to have a subject. A subject pronoun replaces the name or the title of a person or a thing and acts as the subject of a verb. So instead of Maria, you could say she. In both Spanish and English, subject pronouns are divided into three groups: first person, second person, and third person. So also take a moment to remind yourself what first person is. That is me, or I. And then second person is you. And then third person is he and she. And that is just in the singular. So in first person plural, you would say we. In the third person plural, you would say they. For an example, many books that you read are all written in the third person, where the author speaks about somebody. And then another type, it would be second person, where the author speaks to you, but that is extremely rare. Something a little bit more common would be the first person, especially in young adult literature. A lot of times the authors will speak for the character, and the main character would narrate and speak in the first person, saying I and we. So that's first person example. Okay, now to dive into subject pronouns. Before I can teach you the verb ser, which means to be, we have to teach the subject pronouns. So here we go. First person singular is yo. Second person singular is tú. It's also usted, because when you speak with somebody formally, you will say usted. And that is second person. The third person is él and ella. Él is for he, ella is for she. And let's go on to the plural forms now. So first person plural is nosotros for masculine, if men were speaking. And nosotras is feminine, so if it were more than one female speaking. Now, similar to the articles we just learned with the nouns, when there are a group of people and one male involved, then you're going to have to say nosotros, unfortunately. I'm just kidding. But yes, you do have to say nosotros if there is one male involved. So if you were speaking for you and your brother and your mom, you would say nosotros for we. And then another thing to note is the vosotros vosotras form. So while it is mentioned right here, this is something used mostly in Spain. However, we aren't going to do it in any of the activities and assessments, but it is just here for your education, the vosotros form. So let's just go ahead and move on and focus on the ustedes. So ustedes is how I would speak to all of you if I were standing in front of the class. I would say ustedes to speak to and address all of my class, ustedes. And then last but not least, the third person plural is ellos and ellas. So a lot of times people are going to want to say ello for the singular third person, and that would be incorrect. It is él and ella for singular, he and she, and they, plural, it is ellos and ellas. Okay, now for some more examples on the ustedes and tú forms. So Spanish has two subject pronouns that mean you in the singular, and that is tú when you're addressing a friend, a family member, or a child, and then you use usted to address a person with whom you have a formal or more distant relationship, such as a boss at work, a teacher, somebody older than you. Tú eres de Canadá. ¿Verdad, David? So this is somebody that you're speaking to informally, or also known as familiarly. And then usted es la profesora de español. You are the teacher of Spanish. So since you're addressing a teacher, you would speak with a more formal tone using usted instead of tú. So the masculine plural forms nosotros, vosotros, and ellos refer to a group of males, or a group of males and females. So I pointed that out above, but here's some more examples. The feminine plural forms nosotras, vosotras, and ellas can refer only to groups made up exclusively of females, which is very easy to do in our school. A lot of nosotras and ellas happening. And again, the vosotras is there just for your education, but not going to be assessed on that. And now for some visuals on the nosotros and ellos and ellas and nosotras forms. Here would be an example where the two boys would say nosotros to refer to we. And then if we spoke about those two boys, we would say ellos. And then this is a group of boys and girls. So again, it's going to be nosotros and ellos. Nosotros for we, ellos if we were speaking about them. And then here are exclusively girls. Nosotras is what they would use for we, and ellas is what they would use if we were speaking about them. One last important thing to note is there is no Spanish equivalent of the English subject pronoun it. Generally, it is not expressed in Spanish. It's just baked in or embedded. Es un problema. Es una computadora. So you wouldn't say it's. Okay, one last thing I would like to point out under the lengua viva. I already spoke to you about where ustedes is used, as in Latin America, and in Spain, how vosotros are used to replace the you, and ustedes is used only as the plural of usted. So very different in Spain, but once again, you won't be assessed on that, just for your education. And then also, one last thing to note, usted and ustedes are abbreviated as UD or UD punto and UDS. Or occasionally you'll see the VD, but for our circumstances, you're just going to use the abbreviations for UD and UDS. That's all for subject pronouns. Next up will be ser.